Hello YouTube, welcome to Mixes from Africa. My name is Joel. Today something special for you guys. We'll be mixing a live recording using inbuilt Mixcraft plugins or free VST plugins. We're not going to be using anything paid, just what came in the software or a free software. We already did the version of the same project using Waves plugins. If you want to check that out, click the link in the description down below. All right, let's get started. I'm just going to play through the project so that we hear how it sounds. All right, it's just a bunch of tracks together. Yeah, we still have a lot of work to do. And so the first thing I did, I've already organized the tracks based on what they are. The drums, as you can see, of the backups right here. And then we go to the instruments, electric guitar. Yeah, and that's it. It's always important before you do anything else, before you even start putting any form of processing, you first need to organize your project. Once your project is well organized, then you can be able to begin with a fresh mind, with a clear goal. So my goal right now is to start with the drums. For this particular project, what we have here is an electronic drum kit. Unfortunately, I'm not really a big fan of electronic drum kits because it doesn't give you much option. All right, but that's what we have today. We're going to have to make do. All right, so let's listen to it and then let's decide on what we want to do with it. Since it's an electronic drum kit, it already sounds processed pretty much, though I like to EQ some things out of it. I don't know if you can hear it. When the kick hits, there's a resonant frequency. I don't know if you can hear it. Just try to listen. It's like a note. Let's get it out. So I'm going to use the free plugin that comes in Mixcraft. It's called the TB parametric. There we go. This is the one. All right, so let's just get the spectrum running. Now, because this is a free plugin, there's no option to solo, where you can solo and just listen to the frequency. So we have to kind of like sweep through to get the frequency that we're looking for. There we go. There we go. It's probably the sound of the emulation, the room emulation that they're trying to do. There you go. You can hear that. That's really not good. I don't like it. So let's cut it out. There we go. A bit too much. Without, you can hear it. With, there we go. All right, then let's compress it a bit now. Let's bring it to the front. We're going to use the TB compressor. All right, not bad. Let's listen to it without any processing. That's how it sounds. Let's listen to it with processing now. There we go. I feel like I need a bit of the thump, that low end thump. I feel I need a bit more of that. So I'm going to change this to a normal, just a normal bell. There we go. There we go. There we go. And then I'm going to make it a bit more interesting. I'm going to add in the TB bass compressor, and I'm going to choose specifically the drum bass. All right. Now I'm going to start by reducing the mix so that I gradually add it in. Let's begin to add in a bit of that. There we go. All right. Next up, let's work on the bass guitar. This bass guitar was recorded not so well. As you can hear, the level is very low, so we need to raise the level. I'm going to use just a random compressor. Okay, I'm going to use this acoustic compressor. It's just a random compressor in the DAW, and then I'm just going to increase the gain. There we go. All right, and then let's EQ. Let's use the TB equalizer, parametric equalizer. The first thing I want to cut is I want to remove some of this. There's a resonant frequency around 140, 50 there that I usually remove because it's just resonant. There's nothing special there. Let me show you guys that. Yeah, that's I always cut that. That's better. So the one who recorded this bass guitar clearly didn't want us to have a bit of information on the top end, so we're going to assume that's the kind of bass that he likes. We're going to cut a bit on 50 Hertz. Why? The reason why we're going to cut there is because we want to allow the kick to pass through. It's very important that the kick also gets some, some leeway. So around 55 Hertz. Okay, around 55 Hertz. We're going to cut there. Okay, we're going to increase 41 Hertz right here. 41 Hertz. Right about there. There we go. So the center can be, yeah, there we go, around 41 Hertz. All right, but we've dipped in here where the kick is going to thump. All right. So I've just added this vacuum tube enhancer. It's another inbuilt plugin. Let's hear without. Yeah, nothing special about the bass. Once I edit in. But I want the saturation to come on the lower, on the high frequencies. There. That's a bit too low. This will allow my bass to cut through the mix. All right, let's see without. That is without. with. This will allow the bass to cut through the mix. Let's listen to it with the kick. So what I'm doing here, I'm looking for the frequency that will allow the bass and the kick to marry each other so that they can really blend together well. Let me give you an example. Here they don't really blend together here well. You see? Just a bunch of non-cohesive low end. But the more I increase, okay, I'm beginning to get some definition between them. Nope. That's better. I think that's fine. At least there's no major conflict, but I've lost a bit of that low end on the bass. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to insert another sub mix here. Remember, we're just using inbuilt plugins or free plugins, no waves or any of those expensive plugins that you will see around. There'll also be a video showcasing a waves plugin versus inbuilt plugins. I'm sure that'll be pretty interesting, and just check it out on my YouTube page. You get to see which one is better. I want to have that low end back, so I'm going to use something here called it's called Bass Enhancer. This one. This is an inbuilt plugin. This is an inbuilt plugin. It came with Mixcraft, so there's no cheats here. Somewhere there. Now let me reduce. Let me increase some of that low end here. There we go. Go lower a bit. Let's hear, listen to it without. With. There. Alright, I'm gonna leave it there. I will tweak it later according to the mix. Alright, well, I'm done with the bass and the kick. Start with the keyboard. So the recorded keyboard left, right. If you're not recording your keyboards or your instrument in stereo in 2000, in this generation, 2021 and above, 2022 going forward, you really need to start recording everything in stereo. I mean, come on guys. But anyway, just in case you're still recording in mono and you like to know how to make your mixes wider, let me know if I should do a tutorial down there below. I'm going to put the left on the left and the right on the right. Alright, so there we go. There's our stereo keyboard. I'm going to add in again the equalizer, TB parametric equalizer. There we go. I'm going to obviously low cut. Up to around 200 Hertz there. This is the TB compressor. I like my keyboard very attacky. Something like that. Now we need to create space after compressing. We need to create space for the space for the other instruments. So I'm going to deep in around where there's too much happening, around, I think around 500. That's where there's too much. There, as you can hear, there's too much happening there. In normal circumstances, I would use a dynamic EQ, so that whenever it's not too much, it's not overly deeping it, but we're using what we have. That's actually good. It may sound thin right now, but trust me, once all the instruments are in, it will be okay. Alright, let's do the same to the electric guitar as well. Let's EQ. Let's look at it. Nothing much I want to do with that. Let's also compress it just a bit, not too much, because it's already, you can hear that it has been compressed already from the pedal. So just keep it at the same place, something like that. Soft. Right here without the compression. Too much attack from the gear, so there's nothing much I can do to fix that. But actually, you know what? I'm not going to compress it. Okay. Now let's mix both of them together. They sound like separate entities, so what I'm going to do, I need to make them sound as one. I'm going to add in a bit of Fat Plus. This is another inbuilt plugin. It just adds a bit of harmonics. Yeah, pretty good. Information there. This is without. This is with. It may sound a bit thin right now, but eventually it will sound good with everything included. And everyone has their own place, kinda. So I'm going to just to fatten it a bit more. I'm going to add a bit of compression with the classic. This classic compressor. It's another inbuilt plugin by Mixcraft. The TB bus compressor. Without, but just glues them together. All right. What we're going to do next, going to try to add in a bit of effects before we touch the vocals. I like to add a bit of effects on my instruments. That's because the human ear is used to listening to instruments in a context of a room. And so without any context of the room, whatever we are hearing it doesn't make sense in our brains. But once you add a bit of reverb, once you add a room, the music makes sense to the ear. So that's what I'm about to do right now. Let's add the reverb for the electric guitar first. I'm going to use this amazing inbuilt plugin called TB Reverb. Really amazing, by Tone Boosters. It comes in built. That's amazing. Or actually, let me use something even less exciting. Let me use just a normal acoustic reverb. This is just your typical random reverb that you find in. Let's see what we can have here. Yeah, let me try the Canyon. It has to be 100% wet because it's a send. Don't forget to do that. Yes, and then on the EQ, let me use this EQ. I don't want any low end going into my reverb or a lot of high end going in my reverb. Just that mid-ish information. That's all I need. All right, let's send it there. Wow, beautiful. It already sounds different. I also love to send my piano to the reverb as well. I know many people think that it's a sin. It's not a sin to send the reverb. I mean, to add reverb in the piano. It's not a sin. Because at the end of the day, when you go in church and they're playing the piano, you'll be listening to it in the context of a room. And so I have to do the same as well. Let's use our same reverb. This time, let's go to a cathedral. Is there a cathedral here? Let's go to a very large room. It's better. Let's play around with the vocals as well. I'll start with the backup. Alright, so normally when I'm doing my backups, when I'm processing them, whoever begins will be the blueprint for most of everyone. So let's start by equalizing. I can use this guy, for example, just random, yeah, something like that. Okay, something like that. Let's compress it. The TB compressor. I want it to stay in one place, so I'll kind of heavily compress it. The kind of a high ratio. With a pretty fast attack. That's all right. Then let me EQ it again, because there's a lot of this, too much of that. Without, with. It sounds a bit thin, but in the context of the mix, it will sound good. Let's tune it. So the inbuilt tuner in Mixcraft is called G-Snap pitch correction. There we go. I'll set the key. Let's find out the key for this song first of all. D. So let's set it up. The key is D. There we go. Leave like that. Let's save it. And then everyone else is the same thing. But this guy, since he's a guy, I might have to reduce a bit on cutting this guy. There we go. Just a bit, allowing some low end for him since he's a guy.
Nakusinzanga mukama olwe chisa chechinji.
So I'm going to do something that I always love to do on my backups, like what I was telling you before. The way we listen, the way our ears are tuned to hearing sound is in the context, is in a context of a room. And so I like to add a bit of room to most of my backups. Not too much, just a little individually before I process them as a group. So let's start with one by one. And I like to add different types. That's all right. That's all right. It's done as well. It now makes sense to my ears. My brain understands it now because it's in the context of a room. I can imagine seeing them in front of me. I hope you understand that. All right, so now we're going to process them as a group. Okay, I'm going to EQ them again. I'm going to call on the our normal inbuilt parametric EQ. I'm still going to low cut. Nice. I'm going to fatten it again. Cool. I'm going to compress it as a group, TB bus compressor. And I'm going to input again this light guitar clean. Nice. Let's listen to it again without anything. And then let's process it. All right, let's play around with this stereo imaging. Let's send 50% to the right and to the left. Something like that. All right, leave it like that. So what I'm going to do now is add an overall reverb to the whole backup. I'm going to input my favorite inbuilt backup, favorite reverb, TB reverb. It's one of the best. Absolutely. Cathedral. I like Cathedral for backups. They just sound so sweet. Again, I'm going to remove the low end and the high frequencies just to remain with that lowish thingy. Not too much, but yeah. So let's send it there. Now we need to play around with the tail so that it doesn't muddy our mix. The tail is basically how long do you want the reverb to go. So this is what I always do. I always count number of seconds after the phrase have ended and up to the next phrase. 1, 2, 3, 4. So around 4 seconds there. But to be safe, just let's put 350. that it doesn't muddy up too much. Yeah. Let's also cut some of this 500.
Nakusinzanga mukama
All right then. Next up, let's go on the lead mic.
He's everything to us. Just worship him. Keep worshiping. Keep worshiping him. He deserves the glory. Keep worshiping.
First going to equalize it.
Worshiping him. He has done so many things to us. He's our father. He's our friend. We are no longer slaves, but we are the friend of God. We give you glory, Lord. We give you all the glory, Jesus. Take your way in us, Lord. Have your way in us, Jesus. We give you glory, Lord. We are the friend of yes, Lord. Oh, Nakusinzanga. Yeah, Mukama.
So whenever you compress, you're adding information, flow information to rise up. So let's bet after compressing, you EQ again. Remove what you don't like. I don't want any low information.
Nakusinzanga. Oh, Nakusinzanga mukama. Yeah.
So I like to add a bit of Affix Exciter. This is another inbuilt plugin by Mixcraft, another great plugin. Just to, you know, excite it a bit.
We give you glory, Lord. We give you all the glory, Jesus. Take your way in us, Lord. Have your way in us, Jesus.
Let me make you a bit excited a bit more. I'm going to use
yes, Lord. Oh,
this with compressor.
Nakusinzanga.
One of the best compressors, to be honest, to be offered for free is the DTC compressor. Just amazing.
Nakusinzanga.
They made let us now tune. Let's tune the vocal. There you go. So after that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the reverbs. But before adding the reverb, I want to add a slap delay, just a small slap delay to add a bit of width to this vocal.
Yes, Lord. Oh, Nakusinzanga. Yeah, come on. Nakusinzanga.
Let me reduce it now.
Nakusinzanga.
There we go. So basically, most of the things I'm doing, I did them in the using Waves plugin, but in another way. So don't forget to check that out as well. Check out how I did it using Waves plugin. I know you'll find it interesting and you'll learn something from it, I'm sure. All right, let's add some reverb. I like to add two sort of reverbs for my vocal. One close, one very far. So the close one, I like to call it lead 1. Let us use the normal reverb that's inbuilt. Okay. Let this be the far one, the reverb far. Canyon. All right. Wet 100% because it's a send. Let's EQ it again. We want it sounding a bit far, so we cut the high frequencies, and then we cut the mudding frequencies. All right. Our second reverb is gonna be the one which is near. All right. So let's say reverb lead 2. That's the near one. Let's put that TB reverb, and then let's just choose something. Let's say cathedral. All right, fully EQ. All right. There you go. Let's send them there.
Nakusinzanga Nakusinzanga mukama Olwechisa. Yes, Lord.
That's awesome. Let me reduce a bit of this, guys. That's better. The second reverb. So you can now add according to your taste. Alright, let's process now the vocals together. It's a bit too much. It's better. The reverb is supposed to help the vocal, not overshadow the vocal. So you have to be very careful on that. So let's now process the vocals together. TB bass compressor. Let's put that what I always like. Ultra clean compression. It's just good. I want to add a bit of excitement to this whole thing. So I'm just going to add a bit of vintage exciter.
From the bottom of my heart, I give you praise. From the bottom of my heart, I glorify your beautiful
So when I'm putting it, I'm of course there is a reduction of volume, but there's also some some evil low mids that are taken away. That's why I like it. It's without. Don't mind the increase of volume. Listen to how the frequency is. Now let me put it in. It's just cleaner. Absolutely nice. That's all for the vocals. Let's blend them in with the instruments. Now, let me go back to these drums and bass, especially the drums first. Okay. I want to add a reverb in it because without reverb, it's sounding a bit too dry for my liking. So let's add the reverb in it. I know most of you find that surprising, but yeah. I want to put it in some sort of space, absolutely. And then I'll show you how I'm going to do it. Which reverb are we going to use? Let's use any. Let's use that TB reverb, my favorite reverb. Here we go. In that same room, that same cathedral. It's gonna be a bit shorter. That's like a millisecond. That's very short. Let's say 1 second. All right, 2 seconds, 250 seconds, and then let's equalize it now. No low end whatsoever. No high end whatsoever. Just a little bit. All right, let's try it out and see. Let's send it there. Okay, let's remove some pre-delay. I don't want any pre-delay immediately. Okay, let's edit. Let's try to. We'll reduce it a bit, but that's something I'm looking for. Something like that. I'm going to add another EQ just to make sure that there's no low end that is going to this thing. Absolutely none. Yeah. That's better. All right, so let's blend it in with the other instrument and see what happens. There you go. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Of course, there are a lot more someone could have done to make it better. Like the bass is a bit There we go. Something, of course, you can do a lot more, but that's for another day. Let's listen to it, how it sounded from the top. And then let's listen to it now when everything's done.
Nakusinzanga.